Hello and welcome back to Yarn-iversity. This is episode 3 where we're going to go over how to work into your foundation chain. So if you've watched episode 1, you've learned how to read your labels on your yarn and how to pick your hook size accordingly. If you watched episode 2, you know how to do the slip knot and the foundation chain, which is what I'm doing now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So for this episode, what I want to go over is how to work back into your foundation chain. I'm going to just add a few more chains for the sake of the tutorial, because this can be very confusing for a new beginner, a new crocheter. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is your tension. Some people have a very tight tension and some people have a very loose tension. And that can make it difficult to work back into your foundation row, which is obviously something that you're going to have to learn how to do. So you want to always mind your tension. You want to look at your stitches and see if they're too loose or they're too tight. Okay, that gray on gray background was not working well, so I just moved that out of the way. So tension is something that I'll talk about in another video, but you always want to be mindful of that. So I'm just going to start with a single crochet. So this is kind of a 2-in-1. We'll learn how to do a single crochet, but the focus is going to be on the foundation chain and where to go. So this loop that's on your hook, it never counts as a stitch. It never counts. So we did our foundation row, and I wasn't really counting. We're going to count our V's. You see how we have the V's there? So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 15 chains in our foundation row. So I'm going to skip this first one here, because you usually would skip the first one anyway. Sometimes you skip the first 3, sometimes you skip the first 2. Let's say for the sake of this tutorial, our pattern says single crochet into, well, we'll do double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. So we're going to do 1. This loop never counts. This is not a chain. So we chained 15. So we need to go back and look at 1, 2, 3. This is the one that we're going to chain into. So I'm going to do a double crochet because of the length, but I don't want you to focus on the double crochet itself. I want you to see how I'm putting it into the chain. So there's a V here. I hope my lighting is good enough. You're going to go into the top of the V. So now you have, this is the chain you just went into, and this is what's left on your hook. So you have 3 loops on your hook because we're doing a double crochet. And then we yarn over, pull back through. We have our 3 loops on the hook. And to complete the double crochet, we're going to yarn over again, draw through 2, and yarn over again, and draw through 2. And that is putting a double crochet in the 3rd chain from your hook. But the point is to learn how to work into the foundation chain. It's not really about where you're putting it, it's how to do it. So I'm going to walk you through it again. So this is a double crochet. We yarn over, insert our hook into the top of our V. Okay, we have our 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, draw through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2. And there we go. And that's going to be it for this tutorial. Pretty short this time. So just practice your foundation rows, do some swatches, do some practice work, or go right into a project. It's up to you. But just mind your tension, adjust your hook sizes as needed, take your time, and just practice, 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 count, count, count. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, now I finished the foundation row, and this is just for the sake of the tutorial. I just want to show you the difference between working into your foundation row, what it's going to look like on your hook versus when you're in your first row of your project. So we're going to continue with the double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, and now if you flip it, you're going to see the V's here. Okay, we had the V's in the foundation row, but they looked a little different. Now we're going to have to rotate our work to see the V's. So you're going to, I lost my yarn over. You're going to yarn over on your hook. You're going to go under the V. So you're going to be going under 2 here. So 1 and 2. Okay, you yarn over, drop your loop. You still have the 3 loops on your hook. That hasn't changed. The only difference is how many you're going under. So let's finish our double crochet and let's do it again. We're going to yarn over, get our V on our hook. Okay, we have the 2 lines here. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2. So I'm going to show it one more time, a few more times, but just at the speed that I normally go. So I yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2. That's a double crochet. I'm going to do it one more time, and then I'll bring you to the end. Okay, and that's what it's going to start to look like. So this is what's considered our turning chain right here. These are the 3 that we skipped. Probably for a double crochet you'd go to the 4th chain in the hook, because then you have 3 chains going all the way up. But I don't want you to focus on that. I don't want you to worry about that. I just want you to understand how to go into your foundation chain. And what I was saying before about your tension, if your stitches are too tight, it's going to be very, very difficult to get into this foundation chain. So if you need to frog it back, and we say frog it because you rip it, rip it, rip it. If you need to rip it out and start again, don't be afraid to do that. Don't get discouraged. It took me a long time to figure out my tension, especially with my foundation chains. I was a very tight crocheter. If you're having problems with tightness, go up a hook size. If you find that your work is too loose and it looks like it's got too many holes, go down your hook size. You always want to adjust and play around with it as you go along. You never just want to try it one way and commit to how it looks, because you might not be happy with it and you can get easily discouraged. Crochet is art. It takes time, it takes practice. Everybody does things a little differently, and that's okay. You have to figure out what's going to work for you. And the foundation row is always very hard to work into. This is obviously a very short one, but the longer they are, it can get twisted up. It can just get frustrating. So just take your time, mind your tension, count your stitches, and just relax a little bit. It's really quite a relaxing craft.